Good evening, Bande Matram, welcome all of you. The topic to be discussed right now is on a divine life upon earth. That is the topic of discussion for this evening. A divine life upon earth. That is from Sri Aurobindo we are quoting right now. A divine life upon earth, the ideal we have placed before us. For that actually, that is the ideal. That is the ideal, that is the ideology we have placed before us. Divine life upon the earth. But here, the life we are leading, that is the life of ordinary human life. A divine life upon earth, the ideal we have placed before us, can only come about by a spiritual change of our being. Ordinary, we are living in the ordinary consciousness, that is a different issue. But this divine life upon the earth, the ideal we have placed before us, can come about by spiritual change of our being. Spiritual change, not by the ordinary change of having some university education or having being placed in staying in some capital city or staying among some good people here and there in a colony after retirement. Does not seem so. By the spiritual change of our being and a radical and a fundamental change. An evolution or a revolution of our nature, that is what. Just imagine how this life could be. I will tell you again. This a divine life upon the earth which we have placed before us can come only by spiritual change of our being. Spiritual change of our being, a radical and a fundamental change, an evolution or revolution of the nature. Through this only, evolution or revolution of our nature, a radical and fundamental change, a spiritual change of our being, these are the requirements for the divine life which are upon the earth which we have placed before us. These are the requirement. Then the embodied being upon the earth would have to rise out of the domination over it. It is getting dominated every time. At each point of time, it is getting dominated of its veils of mind and life and body. Veils of mind, life and body. These are dominating the being, embodied being, which would have to rise out of the domination of the veils of the mind, life and the body into the full consciousness and the possession of the spiritual reality and its nature, would have to be lifted out of the consciousness and the power of consciousness proper to mental, vital and physical beings. So from that domination of mind and life and the body, it has to come out, it has to emerge out into the full consciousness, not only one or two steps ahead, into the truth consciousness and the possession of the spiritual reality. Second time, possession of the spiritual reality and its nature also would have to be lifted up to a consciousness and the power of consciousness, to that consciousness. First, from the domination it has to come out. Second, possession of the spiritual reality. Third, and its nature, to be lifted up to a consciousness and the power of consciousness proper to mental, vital and physical being, into the greater consciousness and greater power of being and the larger and freer life of the spirit. From this mental, vital and physical layers and embodiments, it has to come out to a higher consciousness, to a higher and freer life of being. That is what the purpose, the goal we have kept, we have placed before us. That is not an easy matter. Life is entire life is, all life is yoga like this. So you have to follow the track. You can't pull yourself out of this track. That is what the requirement. Ordinary goal, ordinary aim that ordinary conscious people, they have placed before them something, nothing more than roti kapda makan. It is roti kapda makan for them. Whatever you see, whether you eat roti, bread in your home, or in a Jhumpudi hotel, or in five-star hotel, the original item from which it is originated, that is the flour from wheat. In where you just place you are changing, that mentality is changing, nothing else more. But here that consciousness concept is totally different. You want to put your life, to make your life divine. That is what the concept is kept before us. For that, actually, instead we feel simply we forget the concept. And then the next step, when one has to escape from the lower dharma, lower dharma and higher dharma. Lower, this family, this all these things, whatever is there, these bounds, these confines, these limitations. One has to escape from the lower dharma. One has often to renounce it, this lower dharma, family duties. Because this is my family, I have created my family, this is my wife, my children, I have given them birth, I have got my responsibility. You have, but you have forgotten. You are here for something else, but you are doing something else. You are doing something, but you are meant for something else. Have you got the call? No idea. I have come. Living in the ordinary conscious of the Grihastha, you have not the spiritual life in yet to begin. You have not got the call, and you have not felt what I am here for, which road I am trying, what is the purpose. Is it the road trying, it is a spiritual necessity for me or not? Nothing has been analyzed so far. Simply people have come, I have come. People are coming and going. This is something like a gate open for everybody. People keep rushing in one way and living another way. Come must and go just, something like ordinary life. They don't know the compulsion of this life, necessity of this life. So this lower dharma, one has often to renounce it and arrive at a larger one. You have to leave it. Leave it means where you have to rise. You have to reach on a larger one. To arrive at a larger one, social duties, paying debts, looking after family, help to serve our ordinary country. These are the conditions. These are the parameters we see. These are the things, at least, and height. These are the height and the breadth of the human larger thinking. Nothing more. Means social duties, paying debts, looking after family, help to serve our country. These are the things. But the different, the contrary is also existing, for which actually you are supposed to do. The man who turns to the spiritual life has to leave all that is behind him upon. Once you have passed the past, yes, then past is lost, it is not coming back. Why, sir? Why are you looking at it? Past is never to return. You have passed the past. So to leave all that is behind them, and he is reproached by lots of people for his adharma. Reproached by a lot of people, lots of people for his adharma. But if he does not do this adharma, he is bound forever to the lower life. He is bound to do the lower nature, lower life. But in ordinary sense, in ordinary ideology, something you are doing, people feel you are doing the adharma. What I have to do? You have to celebrate you have to observe your dharma. Dharma means what? Religion, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Quran, Bible. Dharma means dharayati the dharma. Dharma of, sun rays to give you light and heat. Water, it will quench your thirst. Dharma of cloud, it will fetch and pour like rain. Dharma of the Kshatriya, to wage war. Dharma of the Brahmin, to go for the idol worship. But instead of doing all these things, we have taken dharma in something different sense, different view. Dharma means religion, which is placed on a blood-stained throne, sat on a blood-stained throne. So here, this dharma is different. Dharma means lower dharma, family, duty, paying debt, serving country. These are, we have taken social duty, performing social duties. We have taken it for dharma. If we are not sticking to this principle, we are taken as adharmis. We are doing the adharma. That is on the contrary side. But here in the course, if you are putting these dharmas, social duty, paying debts, looking after family, serving the country and all, these are all etc. Nothing but etc. etc. These are all ignorance. And if you are looking at you, you are doing the adharma. Truly, what people say dharma and adharma, in spiritual sense it is different. Your dharma is you have to come to discover your soul. You have to become, to know the divine, to become the divine, to manifest the divine. That is your dharma. If you are looking back at the dharma, what so-called people say, like I've given example, social duty, paying debt, looking after family, serving the country, etc., etc. These are the adharma you are doing. So what you have to do? This does not do this adharma. He is bound forever to this lower life. You had a sages had a past for this, the boon of this boon and gift of this past life. You are here being a sage, but you are again you are looking back, going to the lower life. For there is always some duty to be done, but can't take up the spiritual drama for dharma ever. You have got some duty because you are duty bound and you are confined to this duty. That is okay. But so far the spiritual dharma is concerned, you are deviating the line. You are not doing anything. It means in normal way, what people think really dharma, doing duty, serving lower dharma, family, paying debt and all dash dash dash. That is adharma in the spiritual sense, because dharma, what you have come to perform, for which the soul has taken birth and rebirth, and you are forgetting and looking at the lower dharma like family, debt, roti, kapda, makan. So what about the spiritual life? Even from spiritual life, you are sliding back to the past. It can take up the spiritual dharma forever. That is what to be taken. And at the end, we will go for discussion another set of example. In the worldly life, the one thing by which one can enter into sadhana is to remember the divine always. What about dharma and adharma? A divine life. These are all the so-called, because already to some extent you are not in a very fascinating mood to deliver speech. So you are very serious about this divine life. Divine life upon the earth is the ideal we have placed before us. And with this ideal and ideology, you have to proceed. You have to fulfill. At least something you have to do in this life. Unnecessary, don't waste your time. This is, you are wasting your time. Simply going for going sake, talking for talking sake, standing for standing sake, like this. In a worldly life, one thing by which one can enter into sadhana is to remember the divine always. Remember, remember, remember the divine always, because divine is the beginning, divine is the end, divine is the in between. With us, divine is the guide. Without divine in spiritual life, nothing is there. The people, the sadhakas, who are pursuing this sadhana life, divine life is all for them. Taking one's difficulties as ordeals to pass through. Ordeals to pass through. You have to appear the exam to go to the next class. So these difficulties, once difficulties are ordealed to pass through, you must cross through that. To pray constantly, seek the divine help and the protection, and ask for opening of the heart and the consciousness to the supporting divine presence. Only the divine presence. That's what is your requirement. That's what is your need. With this only you have to rise up to a higher level and a higher consciousness. That is what the requirement. In the worldly life, here, you don't have to go anywhere else. Sansara dharma, that is a best dharma. You are performing a lot of things, and simultaneously you are doing also your duty. In the worldly life, The one thing by which one has to enter into the sadhana is to remember the divine only. Always taking one's difficulties as ordeal. That is the second part. First, you have to remember the divine always. Second, taking difficulties as ordeals to be passed through. Third, to pray constantly. Number four, seek the divine help and the protection. Number five, ask for opening of the heart and the consciousness to the support of the divine presence. That is what the requirement, and you have to go through. So even if it is that very things are very seems to be charming and exciting, but not that much, not that way. You have to each and every line and words Sri Aurobindo has described, it has got the inner meaning. You have to quest only divine, only spirit, not the higher consciousness, higher dharma. That has to be taken care of. So, if it is you are moving in the track, then fine. Otherwise, pray and will try to be accompanied and guided by the divine. And Mother and Sri Aurobindo are there to lead us and guide us. Vande Mataram.